Hello, travelers. Long time no hear or see from me, but as I explained last month, I had a bunch of doctor's appointments. Usually the month of March and February, all my doctor's appointments come due. So I take things like my mammogram, my pap smear, my labs. Everything comes up around the end of March through February. Additionally, I have to take additional tests for cardiology, EKGs, CAT scans since my stroke. So that's why you haven't seen me. I did post up a note in the community on YouTube saying that I was going to be very busy, and that's why you weren't going to hear from me. I also put out a thing on my Substack. If you haven't signed up for my Substack, it's a free newsletter. Although the thing to pay comes up, you don't have to pay. You can continue to get it free. And I do a lot. I'm working a lot on my Substack right now. So with that said, we are 4 days away from the eclipse. This is a fire sign reading, meaning Aries, Leo, Sagittarius, and we're calling it a pre-eclipse elemental fire reading. That was too long for me to put in the title, but as you can see, it's a pre-eclipse reading. I'm going to put my email address up here. I forgot to do that. So that if you want to get a personal reading from me, you can. All you have to do is email me and tell me. If you go to my About box section of the channel, you will see my prices there, how many minutes the reading is, how many questions, and the price. And then you email me at HiddenLotusTarot@gmail.com and say to me, hey Tara, I want a 45-minute reading. I will contact you back and explain the way that the booking works, okay? All in one email. So that's that. I have with me today the Radiant White deck. I have with me my Levita Sibila, and to wrap the reading up, I have a Psychic Oracle Tarot as an oracle card. Additionally, although this is all fire signs, please check back to the other readings for your moon and rising sign under the water or earth or air readings, okay? So let me turn the camera. Hold on a minute. Hey dogs, stop. They're fighting or wrestling. I want to turn my camera around so that we can get started with the reading. If I can adjust my camera. I can't adjust it. What's going on? Okay, there we go. Because I like for you guys to see me deal the cards. This thing is so rocky. That's it. I know it sounds like I broke it, but I didn't. So this will be a 9-card spread. Let's deal the cards. I have already done some meditation and shuffling on your fire glyph and the signs of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. I have asked the cards to show me the possible energies that are coming through around the eclipse. You can say that this reading basically, the time frame is about 2 weeks, but there's no timing in the tarot and things happen in their own divine right time. So please remember that if you're new to my channel. So let's cut the cards. And here we go. The Knight of Swords. The Six of Swords. The Emperor. The Ten of Pentacles. The King of Swords. The Nine of Wands. The Seven of Pentacles. The Four of Swords. And the King of Pentacles. Well, what is under the deck for the overall energy of the reading? It is the Knight of Wands. Okay, let me look at the spread because I really truly only have one major arcana. This is either a spiritual lesson that you're going to have to learn, or it can represent a person, the archetype of a person. And I'm guessing that it is more like an architect type. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 swords, 1, 2, 3 pentacles, and 1 wand with the wand over the whole thing. Usually, wait a second, I have 2 kings and 2 knights. Usually the Knight of Wands represents an event. All knights to me represent events. And in a way, I feel that it's picking up on the Aries energy. This represents Aries. And the knight over here is a Mercury figure. So Mercury is retrograde during this eclipse. I think it went retrograde yesterday. So there is a change in direction. You hear from somebody and they say, I've changed my mind about something. Okay? They reverse course. The Knight of Wands usually represents, to me, like an ex. You hear from an ex again out of the blue, or because he's facing to the left, that is like he's coming from the future into the past. Usually 2 nights mean a small illness, like you're sick, a cold or something like that. It's not serious. So maybe you hear from the person and the person says, you know what, I don't feel good, or whatever. But this is definitely a message presaged by an event. Something happens. I don't know what happens, but something happens and everybody reverses course. The cards are read past, present, and future. Past, present, and future with the interplay of the cards. The whole energy is riding backwards up here on this row. This Emperor, who represents, he's like a father figure. So maybe this is your baby daddy. I don't know. Maybe your ex-husband. I say ex because or ex-partner. I say ex because the Six of Swords talks about a separation or divorce happening. But besides being a father figure, he can be like a boss, an entrepreneur. He's somebody who everybody looks up to. He is typically an older gentleman. At least he will appear older that way. Somebody who goes for advice. He can be a boss. He can be anybody. Basically, the energy of the Emperor is to combine reason and logic. It's not about being sentimental. It's about having reason and logic. So this means, you know, this guy didn't become the Emperor by being mean and tyrannical. And he didn't become the Emperor by being a pushover. So he uses reason and logic to make decisions. Balance. However, on the negative side, this guy can be like my way or the highway. He can be tyrannical. It depends on what's going on in your life. He is much more than a king. So I think some type of separation happens here because he's giving the Six of Swords the side eye. I don't know if you can see that. He's kind of looking over to the side of the Six of Swords. So maybe he's thinking about a separation. Let's put it that way. The Six of Swords, I'm reading the cards backwards. The Six of Swords is a 6. It speaks of balanced energy, but it is a mental energy. All swords represent thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, ideas, and communication. And this one says that someone is thinking about moving from troubled waters to smooth waters. They may be traveling over water, around water, by water, near water. It can sometimes represent a divorce or separation, and I'm feeling that from the cards. But it says that no matter where you go, you are taking your thoughts with you. See how the swords are like a wall in front of the figures? Maybe someone wants to leave and he's going to help, but something changes. I don't know what it is. The Knight of Swords, you see he rides in quite quickly. Look how the horse is in stride. The clouds are kind of diagonal on the card. He's charging into the scene. So something happens. I don't know what happens. Here I have two kings. And two kings usually represent some kind of business deal. And I can say in a sense, yes, because of all the pentacles. I only have 3, but the 10 of Pentacles speaks about like generational money. Say for instance you own a family business and it does well. It's been in the family for a long time, several generations. Therefore, money has been made that can go down through the generations. Sometimes, not all the time, it speaks about receiving an inheritance. But it also represents the 10th house, which I've seen the card show up sometimes when someone is thinking about retiring. So what's the 10th house? The 10th house represents your status, your ambition. What do you want to be known for? For some people, it is making a 6-figure salary or more, and a fancy car and a big house. For other people, it is simply getting your kids through school. That's an achievement. That's a status. That's your ambition and that's your goal. So the 10th house can represent lots of things. But right in the center, we have this King of Swords. And I'm looking at the scent of on the card. Basically, he represents the sign of Aquarius, but as employment, he can be a doctor, like a surgeon, a scientist, a researcher, a soldier, a policeman, anywhere where sharp tools are needed to get the job done, or keen intellect. So that includes writers and editors. And basically, he represents someone who is rational, not a lot of emotion involved in whatever his decisions are. He's going to choose the logical, rational decision. Doesn't matter whether you like it or you don't. But the sense of the person on the card, he's holding up his sword, which is in effect the Ace of Swords, meaning that he has clear, objective thoughts. He is holding up to the Ten of Pentacles. It's like a block. So it's something about the Ten of Pentacles that he doesn't like or agree with. And I think whatever decision that he makes, it's going to be for his dislike. The Nine of Wands says you have been in a battle and you are not injured so much. Maybe you have a few small injuries, but you're tired. That's why you're leaning on your wand. But you still have enough energy to get back in the fight if you need be. So that's why he's kind of looking back behind him. And I think whatever this was, it happened pretty fast, because those are 8 wands behind him. The 9 speaks about a pause and contemplation of what to do next, as well as the 7 of Pentacles. The 7 of Pentacles says you're waiting for the harvest to come in. It's like you're working and working and working hard, but you're not really seeing any results yet, whether financially or otherwise. But if you can notice, there is a pentacle at the figure's feet. And whenever I see this 7 of Pentacles, it says to me with this pentacle at his feet that you're going to be offered something, but you have to decide on what can you even have. Do you even have time to tend it? Do you have a place for it on the bush? Are you going to have time to feed it and water it and clip it? So sometimes this card is about being careful of what you accept. If you don't have the time or energy, perhaps you should think about it. Another thing for the 7, like the 9, it speaks about a pause and reflection. But this pause is different. This pause is thinking about what comes next. This pause speaks about self-doubt. You don't know if you can do it or if you want to do it. Do you have the skills to do it? And pentacles are not just about money. They are about doing things, the physical plane. The 4 of Swords. This is what I call the ghost card. Ghost. That's Ghost. Ghost. Because it's obvious here, especially with the 3 swords hanging on the wall, there was possibly some miscommunication, some arguments, some hurt feelings, some upset thoughts. But the 4th sword is down below. And this figure lying here is actually an effigy. So that's why I call it the ghost card. You were in communication with someone, but then either they disappeared off the scene or you had to disappear off the scene. The card is related to rest, meditation, and relaxation. You need to do that so you can still your mind and make better decisions for yourself. So I think either you ghosted someone or they ghosted you. And finally, we end with the King of Coins, an earth sign individual. He represents the sign of Taurus. As a profession, he can be a loan officer, a banker, an accountant, a financial advisor, or a business owner. He's someone who handles money, handles perhaps a lot of money, but he made everything that he owns, he made himself. To me, this is not the card of somebody born with a silver spoon in his mouth. Even though I say that this is a fire sign reading, at any time, whether you are male, female, take the role of the male or the female, you can assume the different stances of the different people. It may be a job. It may be you're required to be more rational and logical about your decisions. So don't think because it's only kings that it only means males. You can take the persona of a court card anytime. Now, let me look. We see here that the Knight of Swords comes rushing in, and like you are tired of fighting here. You got to think about what to do. But I think, like I said, this guy who represents the Emperor, and it is a person, that's the energy that I'm getting off the card. He comes to the rescue. And maybe he makes you whole again, or flush, or he says, you know, I will take care of that for you. Let me look at my book and see if there's anything about with the 4 court cards. To me, it says that there may be at least 4 people involved at the least. I just want to give you the I gave you the incorrect information about the 2 knights. I thought it was wrong. It is 2 knights appearing in a reading indicates mixed messages or signals that cause you to doubt the sincerity of a male friend. Let me say that towards the microphone. 2 knights appearing in a spread indicates mixed messages or signals that cause you to doubt the sincerity of a male friend. The interpretation I first gave you was for 2 pages. Okay? So either someone is sending mixed signals or messages and you're trying to figure out what the hell's going on. Or maybe you have 2 suitors and one of them is the baby's father. I don't know. Because someone is thinking about, can they do something or can they handle it? They don't think that they can. No matter how the person is presenting, they have some doubts. So, I'm going to pull this B list. This definitely is about somebody reversing course. And sometimes this card represents an X showing back up in your life. That sometimes can happen under eclipse. This is the airy part of fire. So what I mean by airy part is he takes the quality of a mercurial kind of person. He acts impulse. That says to me, yes, he's coming back. Someone is coming back or returning. And I always say, if a person returns under a Mercury retrograde, they're not going to stick around. So if you want to have sex with them or whatever, go ahead and have fun. But there are no cups in the spread. So there's not a deep emotional connection. It could just be for money. So I'm going to pull cards on the Nine of Wands to see what the argument or fight is all about. Sometimes the Six of Swords, because I want to see there is an argument that occurs. So the Nine of Wands first. The conversation. Usually this implies two people sitting around, or three people or more sitting around a table and talking about so-called pleasant things. La leggerezza. That's the card, the sex card in a sense. It says that you are maybe, or you have done something very carelessly without any thought. So you might be, if it's in the future, right here on the future row, you might be about to make a mistake. And il delirante, the delirious people. That says that there is someone, maybe, who is leading a group of people, or the person has the power to sway your thoughts and actions. But he's crazy. I don't know what this means for you. But it definitely says you have a conversation with someone that will be a mistake because the person is egomaniacal, has the power to sway, and will cause you a lot of problems in your life. Superbia. This is about being proud and vain. Peacock. And it also is associated with people who think they are blue blood, or they love luxury items. Lemika, the friend. Sometimes she's neither positive nor negative, but sometimes it indicates this event taking place at a friend's house. Usually that friend will introduce you to a person that you need to talk to. And the letter. Well, the letter can be anything. It can be an invitation to your friend's house to take a break, for example. But it contains news and messages. And usually this card has a timing of 1 week. So look out. It's not the messaggere. there is a card that talks about the mailman, but who actually delivers the letter or package to you. This says expect a message, some kind of message, within a week's time. It doesn't tell me what it's about. So I will these cards are huge and they are hard for me to handle. Now I don't know if it's kind of funny where the 3 cards of the conversation, Leggerezza and Delorante, fell. It's in a feature position and it is attached to the 3 kings. I mean the 2 kings and the emperor. And sometimes it can mean violence. Going to a place where there's a large crowd and there's violence due to intoxication with substances. Okay, let me see what the card has to say. Number 19, the sun. Well, that's apropos for the eclipse because we will go into darkness because the moon will pass before the earth, between the earth and the sun. But what the sun does is illuminate things for you, so you can see them clearly. When the sun is shining, there are no shadows where things are scary. It's all light and you can see exactly what everything is. On the contrary, when it's the moon that creates shadow, the moon is illuminated by the sun. And so there are shadows created when the moon is full or when there is a new moon, meaning a dark moon. You can't see exactly what everything is and exactly where it is when you're looking at it. The shapes look like, with the imagination, can look much worse or like something completely different. So I think particularly for the fire signs, and maybe for Aries because the eclipse is going to be in the sign of Aries, that this is like a warning. It's telling you to open your eyes and see exactly what is in front of you. Don't be tricked by the play of light that occurs during the eclipse. Let me read what it says. This card reassures you that this is your time to be in the light. No matter what's happening around you, prosperity and bliss are promised. The qualities of this brilliant card are pleasure, happiness, contentment, growth, success, joy, and illumination. The light always brings forth new birth, a constant renewal of life. This is one of the best, if not the most positive cards in the deck, and it's yours. This is now your moment to shine. The radiance from within will be there for all to see. As people become attracted to the rays of your spiritual light, and by being compassionate, generous, inspiring, and a leader, many will benefit as they feel the warmth emanating from you. But be discerning. Yet also be open to whatever or whomever you're attracting, for your rays reach far and wide. I would caution you to say, yes, do be careful, be discerning of who and what you are attracting. Because sometimes you can attract negative energy or negative beings. They're like psychic vampires. They see all the positivity radiating from you, and then they attach to you. The light card reminds you that because of its power, nothing remains in the dark. Through its illumination, truths and certain paths before you begin to emerge and can be surely seen. Using the energy of positive thought and continually thinking about the happiest, most joyful of memories will light the path before you even more brightly and attract exactly what you are emanating. Keep on shining. And that's what I have for fire signs. Enjoy the eclipse. Thank you. Bye.